And at this time, I will now turn it over to Linda for us to begin.
Hi, thank you so much, Stella. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today for our mobile merchant presentation. So really quickly, our presentation outline for today, we're going to do an introduction to our mobile merchant license. We're also going to be going over some mobile merchant guidelines as well as mobile merchant application steps. So with our introduction to mobile merchant, our mobile merchant operator is any person or entity that offers for sale at retail, tangible, and durable merchandise and products to the general public from within a motorized commercial vehicle. The mobile merchant license activity offers the flexibility in allowing the sales of non-food merchandise from a mobile vehicle. Examples include retail sales of clothing, shoes, handbags, art-inspired gifts, souvenirs, as well as a showroom such as cabinets and fixtures. This license excludes the sale of prepared food, which would require a mobile food preparer license, such as a food truck, or a mobile food dispenser license, such as an ice cream truck. Our mobile merchant operations. So our mobile merchant vehicles must move from place to place upon the public ways and cannot operate at a fixed location. Operators may also operate on private property with the permission from the property owner. The vehicle and business operations cannot interfere with or impede traffic, including but not limited to vehicular, business, pedestrian, and bicycle traffic. Vehicles may not be in motion while patrons are inside of the vehicle. Our licensing requirements. So some of our required documents that we're going to be looking for when you submit your applications is for valid commercial general and a commercial automobile liability insurance. We're going to be looking for a valid state ID to provide us a copy of a valid driver's license or a state ID of one or more of the owners who's going to be applying for this particular license. And we're also going to need the vehicle information. We're going to need for you to provide us with photos and an interior layout that is going to include the location of the carbon monoxide detectors, as well as the fire detector and the fire extinguisher. With the insurance requirements, we're going to be looking for commercial general liability with limits of not less than $1 million per occurrence. And we're also going to be looking for commercial automobile liability insurance with limits of not less than $1 million per occurrence. It has to be issued by an insurer that's authorized to insure in the state of Illinois. And the name of the city of Chicago has to be added as an additional insured. So we also need to include a provision that requires 30 days notice to BACP before cancellation or lapse of this insurance. With the vehicle requirements, these vehicles cannot be trailers, they cannot be hitches. They have to be a single deck, not more than 30 feet in length, or not more than 13 feet and 6 inches measured from the underside of the tire to the top of the vehicle. It has to be completely enclosed with top and sides. And obviously, we need to be able to see the location of the carbon monoxide detectors, the fire detectors, and the fire extinguishers. So what are some of the restrictions when it comes to our mobile merchant license? So service-oriented business activities. So if you're trying to provide any type of hair, nail, massage, dog grooming services, that is not allowed with this license. You're not allowed to have any performances or live entertainment unless it's part of some special event, which goes through a different type of application process. Video arcades or gaming is not allowed. Secondhand property. So if you're selling anything that's valuable or that the city considers secondhand property, such as used of electronic items, used hand tools, that's not going to be allowed. Any food or beverage for human consumption is not allowed. Tobacco products and accessories are not allowed. Liquor to be dispensed from these vehicles is not allowed. Materials and wear of adult use in nature will not be allowed. Weapons, knives, firearms, or ammunition, medical cannabis cultivation centers or dispensing organizations. No trailers or hitches are permitted, as mentioned before, and the use of any sound amplification is also prohibited, so there cannot be any isolating or rotating or flashing lights of any color that can be used while this vehicle is parked or in motion. So what are some of the key points for the application submission? As mentioned before, we're going to need for you to provide us with an interior layout of the space. as well as ensure that the layout includes the location, as mentioned before, of the carbon monoxide detectors, the fire detectors, and the fire extinguishers, the insurance for the vehicle and the commercial liability insurance. The license fee for this particular license is $250, and it is valid for 2 years. Once you are approved for this license, you will be receiving a paper license as well as a window decal that has to be put on the vehicle at all times. So how would you apply for this license? You can always come in person and see us here at City Hall. We're located at 121 North LaSalle on the 8th floor, room 800. And we're open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. You're also able to apply online with us directly through Chicago Business Direct. The website is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And in case you think of any other questions or have any follow-up questions or need more clarification, you can always send us an email to businesslicense@cityofchicago.org. And now we'll go ahead and open it up for anyone that has any questions. So the question that I see here is, what type of license do you need to provide mobile entertainment such as a gaming trailer? Again, hitches and trailers are not allowed here in the city of Chicago, so you will not be able to license a hitch or a trailer for gaming or for the sale of food. And as far as the gaming trailer goes, as I mentioned before, gaming is not allowed as an actual license that we're able to license currently right now with the city of Chicago. Just a reminder that you're able to post your questions in the chat so that we're able to read them and answer them. What sales do you have where we can apply? So if you're going to be doing retail sales out of the mobile merchant, you're able to apply in person with us here at City Hall. And you're also able to apply online through Chicago Business Direct. As I stated before, retail sales of general merchandise, so clothing, shoes, accessories, souvenirs, all of that is allowed. What's prohibited is the sale of any food for consumption, liquor, tobacco, secondhand items are not permitted for the sale for mobile merchants. So for any type of food services, when it comes to a mobile food truck, you would need to apply specifically for that license. We have 2 different types of licenses. When it comes to mobile food, we have a mobile food preparer, which means you're going to be preparing everything on the truck. So you're going to be prepping, cooking, storing some items on the food truck. And then we also have a mobile food dispenser, which is more of an ice cream truck where you're going to be selling items that are already prepackaged. So the other question was if we need this type of license for food services as well. As I mentioned before, you would have to get a mobile food license with us here at the city of Chicago. So again, mobile food preparer, you're going to be preparing everything on site. Mobile food dispenser, you're going to just be selling items that are already prepackaged. So the question that we got here was, do you have to be the owner of the vehicle? And can I have an assistant to help sell? I will be selling accessories for women. So if you are, obviously, we're going to be asking to see insurance. So we're going to need general liability insurance, to make sure that the truck is covered for the retail sales and to have people inside of the truck to do the sales, as well as we're also going to need to see your insurance that you're able to legally drive this vehicle here in the state of Illinois. So we're going to make sure that you have some type of ownership and that you're able to provide us those documents in order for us to be able to license you. And you are able to help other people help you, as far as sales associates to help you, during the time that you're selling your items. Correct. So a mobile gaming truck or trailer is not currently allowed for the for here in the city of Chicago. It's not something that we currently license when it comes to the truck, but when it comes to any type of trailers or hitches, that's just not allowed in the city of Chicago at all. So whether you're doing general merchandise or whether you're doing food, you will not be able to use a trailer or a hitch in order to apply for this license. The vendor is not required to show us the inventory of the items. We just are going to ask you specifically what type of items it is that you're going to be selling. So you can give us a general idea of the type of items that you're going to be selling from this mobile truck. You just need to be able to specifically tell us what they are, but we don't need to see like a detailed list of every single item that's going to be available for sale.
You see the question in the Q&A box?
No, let me click on it now. So when it comes to filing sales tax, whenever you apply with the state of Illinois to receive your IDOR number with them, I know that they give you an option as far as how you're going to be filing with them. And that's something that you would need to ask them specifically, or maybe take up with your accountant if you're going to be filing every single month or quarterly. I think that's more of a question you can get more information from the state or from your accountant as well. So clothing and accessories are allowed. You are able to sell these items from your mobile truck. I know there was a question earlier where someone asked if they're able to sell items out of their van. Remember, this mobile merchant license is specifically to allow people inside of the truck. So obviously this is more of a big box truck where people are able to walk in and not have to hunch down. If you're trying to sell items from your van, we do have a different type of license. We have a peddler's license where you're able to sell general merchandise and you're able to use your vehicle or your car to sell the items out of, but you are not allowed to have any patrons inside of your car. All of the sales have to be done outside. So toiletries, hair care items, skincare products, all of that is allowed under this license.
Linda, it looks like we don't have any more questions. We can wait like another 5 minutes if you like.
Sure. The last license that I mentioned, it's a peddler's license. So a peddler's license is used to sell general merchandise, souvenirs, flowers, teddy bears. You're able to use your vehicle. You're able to, so the peddler's license is meant to be more as you're kind of, walking down the street, you're stopping, making your sale, and then you keep on moving. You're able to use a little cart. You're able to use your car to sell these items out of. But again, you're not able to have anybody inside of your car. You're not able to exchange any money inside of your car under a peddler's license. And the peddler's license is not meant for you to basically stand in one location. It's meant for you to make your sale and continue to move on the public way. So as far as aesthetic services, waxing and facials, that is not permitted under this type of license. That will kind of fall under personal services. So any type of skincare, waxing, facials, haircuts, nails, dog grooming, that's not allowed with this license. So you have to remember that this license is just specifically for the retail sales of tangible items. Any type of service that you're trying to do out of these vehicles will not be permitted. So the license fee with us for this mobile merchant license is $250, and that license will be good for 2 years. As far as any other additional startup costs, if you incorporate or do an LLC, then obviously you're going to have additional costs with the state of Illinois to register your legal entity, purchasing the vehicle, the truck, if you already don't have one. Those are all additional costs that you would have to kind of plan out for. But as far as, the cost associated with the city to obtain this license, it's only $250 for 2 years. The cost for the peddler's license is $100, and it's $100 for 2 years. So when it comes to licenses for dog grooming, so you're not able to do this from the mobile merchant license because you actually need a fixed location. When it comes to dog grooming, the animal care and control department gets involved. They're going to go on site, inspect the location, make sure you have all the proper spaces that you need to house the animals, as well as the plumbing that's needed for you to do the dog grooming. So for that, you're going to need an actual brick and mortar location. You will not be able to do it under a mobile merchant license. And then as far as hair and makeup, again, that falls under personal service, and that just is not allowed with the mobile merchant license. You would need a brick and mortar location for that.
Look like you have some questions coming in the Q&A box.
So what is the turnaround time for an applicant to secure the license? How long does the process usually take? If you have all the items that I mentioned that we're looking for during the application process, then we're able to turn it around the same day. It really just depends on whether or not you have everything that we're looking for, all the documentation in order for us to proceed. If you do not, then that really just kind of falls on your timing on when you're able to come back and provide us with that documentation. If you are in a time crunch, I do suggest you come in person. When you apply online, obviously the applications are reviewed in the order that they're received. So if you're in a time crunch, I would suggest just coming in person to apply. And you can always send us an email at businesslicense@cityofchicago.org, where we're able to provide you our business information sheet, which is basically the form that you need to have completed or complete when you come here to the center in order for us to generate an application for you. And then we can also provide for you a list of all the documentation that we're going to be looking for, as well as a copy of the general liability insurance that you're going to have to take to your insurer. That way they can make sure that they follow the format that we're looking for as well. So what is enforcement or fine for operating without a license? It really just depends on the severity of the situation, and you are able to submit these requests through to 311. As far as their specific hours of operation, when it comes to the hours of operation for this, you just have to keep in mind that you have to be able to kind of abide by the rules and regulations of wherever it is that you're going to be at, parked on the street. You have to make sure that you're not blocking any traffic. You have to make sure that if you have to pay a meter, that you're paying the meter in order to be there. And particularly with the hours, there isn't a restriction with the hours. But we know that CPD is out there, and if they do go and they'll ask businesses, what are you doing? Do you have permission to be here? And they will follow up with us just to make sure that, you do have an active license to conduct the type of business that you're trying to do. So one question that we had is, what are the 3 emerging businesses demanding this kind of license besides food trucks and clothing? Honestly, we have a lot of people who are just not sure if they want to commit to an actual physical location. So we do have a lot of people that are selling clothing. They're selling some souvenirs because they're only doing it seasonal. You have other people that are just, selling candles and little trinkets, and they just want to get their name out there before they actually commit to a physical location. You can, so the next question is, where can I request information in Spanish? Again, you can always send an email to businesslicense@cityofchicago.org. And we can have a business consultant that speaks Spanish connect with you to be able to give you a breakdown of all the items that we need or answer any questions if you have any follow-up questions. Another question that we had is, what's the difference between this license and a peddler's license? So with the mobile merchant license, you have to remember that, again, think about a box truck. People are basically going to be inside this box truck. It's going to kind of operate as a brick and mortar location, right? Because you are going to set it up in order for people to view the items, talk to you and maybe get some feedback on what it is that they're looking for, compared to a peddler's license. A peddler's license is just basically a person, again, that might just have the items in a bag. They might just have a little laundry cart with them. Or they might just have some extra inventory in the trunk of their car. And again, they're just stopping to make that one sale and then they have to keep on moving. And again, obviously with the mobile merchant, it is a box truck. So then people will be able to go inside, they're viewing the items, compared to peddler who's just basically going to dispense the items to you, receive the money, and then just kind of keep on going on their way, since they're not allowed to have anyone inside their vehicle if they have a vehicle, because with a peddler's license, you're not required to have a vehicle, but you are able to sell items out of your personal car. And obviously mobile merchant falls more under a box truck type of vehicle.
It looks like we're done.
Okay.
Yep. So thank you for attending today's webinar. If you still have questions, please send an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. Again, that email is bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. Please send your questions there. To learn more about our upcoming webinars, please visit chicago.gov/BACP webinars. Again, that's chicago.gov/BACP webinars. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.